Hi, I'm Kyle from the Shift Open Finance community, and today we're joined with Alexis from Sikoia, who's one of our amazing Shift Plus members. So let's just jump straight into it. Sikoia, what do you do? Where do you kind of fit in the market, and what problems do you solve?
Amazing. Thank you, Kyle. It's great being here. So Sikoia, we are a London-based B2B fintech. So what we do is we help financial services provider streamline and automate part of their customer verification process. So think about it, for example, as a consumer taking a mortgage or a small business opening a bank account, right? There's a part of it that is pretty much streamlined, where you provide customer info and get a decision in principle in just a few minutes, right? But then further down the line in the process, that's where you have to submit documents. Typically on the other side, you have somebody that actually reviews all of those different data manually, from bank transaction, income, payslip, credit bureau, and so forth, right? And that's where there's a lot of often friction back and forth with the customer. That leads to sometimes also inconsistent decisions and also exposes to regulatory risk, right? For example, in the example of consumer duty that we're all familiar with. And so what we've seen at Sikoia is often those manual verification processes can cost even average financial institutions, a few millions. And so that's where we come in, basically. So we are a customer verification platform. We aggregate data from a lot of different sources, streamline this, and standardize this for decisioning, and then most importantly, create and generate insights out of it.
That's awesome. And it's when you say millions, it's funny, whenever you put anything on the financial institution scale, it's one little small thing that they kind of are doing too slow, it's millions. And the impact you're having is huge as well. And I think I could speak for most consumers where I haven't got time. I'm done with documents and going back and forth. So I need my bank to have Sikoia, so I don't have to keep going back and forth and just filling out manual forms, replying to emails. Nobody has time for it anymore. And obviously you're one of the founders, so it'd be awesome to hear your kind of story, how you started in the FS industry, why you then decided to set up Sikoia, and how that all came about.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background has very much been in technology investing before that, and actually advising financial institutions as well. And so I kind of was in a position to see how really innovation can help unlock productivity or efficiency within financial services. And so interestingly, over the last years, what we saw is there's an explosion of point solution and fintechs that tackle specific problems like think open banking, or the number of players in identity verification, or anti-money laundering, right? And that helped a lot, but also still doesn't solve all the data being in silos and the need for reconciliation of all that data, right? And so that's where I got personally excited, because I saw the opportunity to create a new type of player that aggregates all that data and really automate part of the processes that not have been efficiently tackled yet.
Yeah, that's awesome. And part of your solution, I believe, involves open banking. And as a community of Shift, we're very passionate about progressing open banking and the open finance agenda in the UK forward. It'd just be awesome to hear your perspective on open banking and how you utilize that within Sikoia.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. And because a lot of our clients are actually in the lending and credit space, open banking is very core data set to us, right? And actually, we also happen to be regulated as a AISP, or Account Information Service Provider. So kind of several observations we had on open banking is, it became extremely core to a lot of fintechs, core to their business model and how they operate. But we also had some interesting observation. So for example, if you look at the open banking service provider out there, we didn't find anybody that has an optimal coverage in terms of, consumer accounts, business accounts, or even geographies. So often you need to kind of have several if you are expanding internationally. The second thing is what we noticed as well is in a lot of subsegment within financial services, bank statement are still predominant today, right? If we think mortgages, there's only a small uptick of open banking in the space. But we're definitely very kind of excited about it because we see this as one of the richest customer data set out there. But arguably there is still it's still a data set that is difficult to make sense of on its own.
Exactly, and that's why we're so passionate about open finance as well, because that then opens the boundaries for, as you said, mortgages, pensions, investments, so you can access more of the consumer data than ever before and make those decisionings better than ever. And you said there as well that you are a licensed AISP provider, which is quite interesting to me, because not all fintechs are, because it can be quite a grueling process of a year with the FCA and quite a few fees there. With that license, do you now do all of the connections yourself as well, or do you still use third-party providers?
Yeah, so we act as an aggregator on top of providers.
Okay.
And really why we went after the license is just not to be dependent of the agent relationship and be able to control the workflows. But we're not interested in doing the connectivity. So we actually power different providers through a single endpoint. And then to your point with open finance and enriching their data sets with others, so our approach to make sense of open banking data is actually to enrich it with other data, such as income data from payslips or from tax returns. And that helps us create a single view of the customer, I think, in a much more accurate manner than just on open banking data.
Exactly. So you're already taking the initiative to go beyond open banking, and then as a nation, we hopefully also have open finance to deliver soon. But that's really good to hear. You're also leveraging tax and income to get a wider picture. And I mean, what you're doing is amazing. But we're in 2024 now. So is this going to be a big year for you? What's in the product development roadmap? What are these big partnerships? What's your ambitions for this year?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I mean, there's a lot. We're very excited about 2024, and actually we saw already kind of an uptick in the volume and the activity of fintechs in general. There are a few very exciting projects we're yet to announce, but we are working on, and some of them are related to new products that we're releasing. And so one of them, for example, is one called Document Insights, where we actually allow our customers to send us documents that you typically see in consumer applications, such as bank statement, pay slips, and tax returns. And we automatically generate proof of income, affordability, employment, and address verification from those. So if you think about it, like even in a mortgage context, for example, that typically takes 30 minutes to an hour for somebody on the broker side actually to put together. And with that product, we're able to reduce this to just a few minutes.
My goodness. And when you think of the scale of all of the mortgages applications rejected or accepted, they're out there that need that process, you're saving on average, I guess, 50 minutes per application. That's insane.
Exactly,
the amount of cost savings would be huge. Wow. And why then did you decide to join Shift in the first place? How did you feel us as an open finance community could support Sikoia's mission?
Yeah, so it's funny, like the first time actually I heard about Shift was a bit more than a year ago. And I think what drew me to it is really the strengths of the community and all the other fintechs and financial institutions that you've been able to kind of gather together. And I think we see a lot of benefits of that, of having an additional sounding board for some of the projects that we have, or just discuss industry relevant topics to us. So that's I think the main reason that pushed us to join the community.
Awesome, that's good to hear. Yeah, we love keeping the vibrance of the community together, and then also through now Shift Plus, you've signed up for that as well. And Lydia's your success manager, and we're trying to help you even further of, as you said, that sounding board, help making sure your RFI applications and the way you pitch Sikoia, because it's an innovation that every consumer needs, every bank needs. So why aren't you there already? So that's hopefully how we can help you. And it'd be good to just get your perspective going into 2024, this ambitious year, as you said, new products, new customers you're hoping to target. How do you feel like Shift Plus will support on that mission?
Yeah, so we see it really as to help us, validate our proposition, and also with different players or different within a different ecosystem than we have access to on our own. So I think one thing that was very useful to us, and we just did the exercise with Lydia last week, is we pitched a new proposition to a product director at an incumbent bank. Yes. And we got direct feedback, and really that helped us, I think, fine-tune not only the messaging, but how we approach our go-to-market.
Yes, exactly. You're referring to your practice pitch with Chase Bank. So we have a community of fintech champions, of these amazing people from financial institutions that are here to support, here if your solutions are relevant to get you into the bank, or here just to purely make you improve that pitch and make sure you're ready for future presentations. That's awesome to hear you found value in that, because it makes us feel very good. And Nav, who runs the Fintech Champions, I'm sure she'll watch this and she'll be like, yes, she's mentioned us. It's brilliant. It's good to hear. And outside of Sikoia, outside of Shift, looking at financial services industry as a whole, as you said, you're quite experienced in this space. Over the next 5, maybe 10 years, what innovations are you most excited for? What do you think is going to really drive impact to the consumers or to the financial institutions?
Look, I think a lot has to do with opening up data, as we discussed, but it's more about combining that data to generate new and more personalized insights. Yeah. I think we've sold a lot in terms of accessing single parts, as I mentioned before, like open banking, like identity. But really where we unlock the value is where we combine all of these different data sets, and then with the view of creating a better not only customer experience but also outcome for the end consumer.
Exactly, because it's ensuring they don't get loaned too much, they don't get loaned too little if they should be approved for it, and also, as you said, saving them time through manual processes on both sides of this equation.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And just to wrap up there, so the audience listening, it'd be awesome to just hear, so Sikoia in 2024, how can they support you? What are you looking for? Is there any advice you're looking out in the market for? How can we all get involved in Sikoia's mission?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we're lucky in the sense that we're still growing fast, and we're always looking for new partners, be it on the data marketplace that we have. So we're always looking to expand that to new data sets. Yeah. And also for any fintechs that have those specific pain points across customer verification or larger incumbents, we are very excited to engage.
Perfect. And I'm sure you can catch Sikoia at some of our Shift events, or you're presenting soon at Finovate,
exactly.
Is it? You'll also be on our stand at the Building Societies Association. Sikoia are getting out there. They're everywhere. You will not ignore the name now, and it will be everywhere you see, hopefully. So I hope to see you at an event soon, and I hope to see everyone else. But I've been Kyle from the Shift Open Finance community, and thank you so much, Alexis.
Thank you, Kyle. My pleasure.